The rain-slick streets of Malaga gleamed under the sodium lamps like veins of molten silver, and Avery Whittaker slammed the car door with a force that echoed off the stone walls of the old port warehouse. "I can't do this anymore, Camila," she hissed, her voice cracking like thunder over the Strait of Gibraltar. "You're carrying my children, our children. And I love you, God help me, but this life? It's a cage with bars made of gold. I'm suffocating." Camila's hand froze on her swollen belly, the triplets inside kicking as if they could sense the fracture splitting their world in two, and in that instant, the woman who'd built empires from sun-drenched vineyards knew she'd just shattered the only real thing she'd ever touched. Avery had arrived in Spain 5 years earlier, a 37-year-old tech heiress from Silicon Valley, fleeing the cutthroat boardrooms of San Francisco where her family's software fortune had turned her into a shark in Louboutins. She'd washed up in Andalusia like driftwood from a storm, buying a sprawling finca in the hills above Marbella with cash that could choke a bull. The air smelled of olive blossoms and salt, a far cry from the fog and ambition of home. That's where she met Camila Reyes, a 33-year-old artist from a fishing village in Cádiz, whose canvases of stormy seas and hidden coves hung in the back-alley galleries of Malaga. Camila was fire and earth, petite, with curves that spoke of generations of Mediterranean resilience, her dark eyes holding the depth of the Atlantic. They collided at a charity auction for local artisans, Avery bidding impulsively on a painting that captured the raw ache of exile, Camila's laughter cutting through the crowd like a siren's call. What started as flirtation over glasses of Rioja deepened into something seismic. Avery, who'd always armored herself with deals and detachments, found herself unraveling in Camila's studio, surrounded by half-finished oils and the scent of turpentine. They talked for hours, Avery confessing the hollow victories of her inheritance, Camila sharing stories of her abuela's smuggling tales during Franco's era. Love bloomed fierce and unapologetic, the kind that makes you believe in fate over algorithms. When Camila suggested they try for a family through a donor, Avery didn't hesitate. "Let's build something real," she'd said, sealing it with a kiss under the stars. Triplets. 2 girls, Sofia and Luna, and a boy, Mateo. Miracles, they called them, even as the pregnancies tested Camila's body like a tempest at sea. But shadows crept in. Avery's empire demanded fealty. Her father, Harlan Whittaker, the iron-fisted patriarch who'd clawed their way from Midwest garages to NASDAQ glory, summoned her back via encrypted video calls. "Spain's a vacation, Avery, not a life. And that situation, it's a liability. Investors whisper, boards balk. Come home or watch it all burn." The triplets were due in weeks, Camila's belly a taut drum of life, and Avery's phone buzzed incessantly with threats veiled as concern. Board members unearthed old rumors. Avery's brief, ill-advised fling with a male venture capitalist in her 20s, twisted into instability. Harlan leveraged it all, painting Camila as a gold-digging distraction. The donor-conceived children as scandals waiting to erupt. The night it broke, they were in their finca's courtyard, jasmine heavy in the air. Camila, radiant despite the exhaustion, had painted a mural on the stucco wall. 3 silhouettes against a sunset sea, hands linked. "For them," she'd whispered. Avery had stared at it, heart pounding, then dropped the bomb. "I have to go back. Just for a while. To secure everything for us." Lies even then. Camila's face crumpled. Not in anger, but in that quiet devastation only lovers know. "Take us with you then. We're a family." Avery's throat closed. "It's complicated. The press, the family. They'd destroy you." She meant herself, really. The empire she'd inherit only if she played the game. By dawn, Avery was gone, a private jet slicing through the pre-dawn sky, leaving a note and a trust fund that felt like hush money. Camila birthed the triplets alone in a Malaga hospital, the sea crashing outside like applause for her courage. Sofia came first, wailing with fury. Luna followed, serene as a crescent moon. Mateo last, his cry a bridge between them. Avery wired money monthly, anonymous envelopes of euros for tutors and art supplies, but no calls, no visits. She vanished into New York's glass towers, marrying the facade of Harlan's world. Dinners with senators, mergers that swallowed startups whole. Yet every quarterly report, every gala toast tasted like ash. In quiet moments, she'd trace the locket Camila had given her, etched with 3 tiny stars, and wonder if the sea had washed away the woman who'd made her feel alive. Years blurred. The triplets grew into teenagers fierce and untamed. Sophia, the debater with her mother's fire. Luna, the dreamer sketching worlds in notebooks. Matteo, the quiet observer with a knack for fixing broken things. Camila raised them in a modest casita on the Costa del Sol, her art sustaining them. Portraits of expat souls lost in paradise, sold to tourists who romanticized the struggle. She never spoke ill of Avery, only that she had to chase her storms. But resentment simmered, a slow burn under the Andalusian sun. Camila poured it into her work, a series called Echoes of Absence, paintings of empty cradles and shadowed doorways that won her a fellowship in Barcelona. There, amid the Gothic spires, she met Elena, a curator with kind eyes and steady hands. It was comfort, not passion. A shared bed on weekends, stories over paella. But the triplets' questions grew sharper. Why no mama from America? Does she hate us? Avery, meanwhile, ruled from penthouses. At 42, she was Whitaker Industries CEO. Her name synonymous with innovation and ice. Harlan's death 2 years prior had cemented her throne. But victory rang hollow. No lover lasted. Women drifted in and out, mistaking her intensity for availability. She volunteered at shelters, funded queer youth programs. Atonements disguised as philanthropy. But Spain haunted her. Dreams of olive groves, Camila's laugh like waves on pebbles. Then a letter arrived, postmarked Malaga, in handwriting that twisted her gut. Camila's. It was simple, scrawled on canvas paper. The children turn 16 next month. They deserve truth. We're coming to New York. Don't make me drag your secrets into the light. Avery's hand shook as she folded it. Secrets, Harlan's machinations, the fabricated scandals to force her return. The clause in her will tying inheritance to traditional alliances. And deeper. Avery's own betrayal. A drunken night in Manhattan where she'd let a colleague kiss her, convincing herself it was survival. Not love but compromise. The kind that poisons wells. She paced her Tribeca loft. Floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Hudson like an indifferent god. Call security? Lawyers? No. This was reckoning time. Avery booked flights to Malaga, first class be damned. The plane touched down as thunderheads gathered over the Sierras, mirroring the storm in her chest. Renting a jeep, she drove the winding coast road, heart hammering like the waves below. The casita was tucked in a whitewashed village, bougainvillea rioting over the gate. Camila answered the door, older but undiminished, lines around her eyes like brushstrokes, hair threaded with silver, that same green dress hugging her frame like memory. Avery, she said, voice flat as the sea after a gale. No embrace, just the doorway framing her like a portrait. The triplets hovered behind, staring, tall now, echoes of both women. Sophia's defiant chin, Luna's soft gaze, Matteo's steady calm. Avery's throat tightened. I came as soon as... Camila cut her off, stepping aside. Inside. We've got stories to unpack. The kitchen smelled of garlic and saffron, a paella simmering on the stove like a truce offering. Camila poured Avery a glass of vermouth, her movements precise. A painter's grace turned to armor. The triplets sat at the scarred wooden table, eyeing their American ghost mother with a mix of curiosity and wariness. Sophia, bold as her namesake city, crossed her arms. So you're the one who funds our surf lessons but couldn't show for our birthdays? Classy. Luna sketched idly on a napkin, capturing Avery's profile in quick lines. Sharp jaw, haunted eyes. Matteo just watched, fiddling with a broken seashell necklace, the one Avery recognized from photos Camila had once snuck into emails. Avery swallowed hard, the vermouth burning like confession. I was wrong. Terrified, stupid, but wrong. Your mom. She deserved better. You all do. Camila leaned against the counter, arms folded, her silence louder than Sophia's barbs. The rain started then, pattering on the terracotta roof like impatient fingers. Avery spilled it all, the boardroom vipers, Harlan's ultimatums, the fabricated affair meant to straighten her out. He threatened to cut you off, Camila. The finca, the trusts, everything. I thought leaving would protect you. Lies layered on half-truths, but the core ached true. Fear of losing control, of the empire swallowing her whole. Camila's laugh was bitter, a shard of sea glass. Protect us? You vanished, Avery. I birthed them alone. Explained your absence with fairy tales about distant adventures. They grew up asking why their mama Rika didn't want them. Her voice cracked on want, and Luna reached for her hand, the sketch crumpling. Mateo spoke then, soft but piercing. We saw the news. You at galas with those suits. Looked happy. Avery's chest caved. I wasn't. Every deal, every speech. It was noise covering the quiet where you should have been. The conversation fractured into fragments, the paella cooling untouched. Sophia grilled her on the money. Blood euros, right? From selling souls. While Luna asked about San Francisco, her eyes lighting at tales of Golden Gate fog. Mateo, ever the fixer, probed the silences. What now? You show up, drop bombs, then jet back. Avery had no answer, only the locket she'd worn for years, now slipped into Mateo's palm. This was hers. For strength. He turned it over, tracing the stars, and for a moment, the room held its breath. That night, Avery stayed in the guest room. A cot under a crucifix that felt like judgment. Sleep evaded her, the sea's roar a lullaby turned dirge. Down the hall she heard Camila tucking in the kids, her voice a murmur of Spanish lullabies. Slipping out, Avery found Camila on the patio, smoking a rare cigarette, the cherry glowing like a distant lighthouse. Can't sleep? Avery asked, settling beside her. The air was thick with salt and unsaid words. Camila exhaled smoke toward the stars. Not with you here. It's like the tides turned, dragging up old wrecks. They talked, halting at first, about the triplets' quirks, Sophia's soccer dreams, Luna's poetry, Mateo's robotics tinkering from scavenged parts. Then deeper. Camila's fellowship, Elena's gentle presence. Avery's gut twisted. Not jealousy but regret for the life she'd forfeited. I ended things with that colleague the day after, she admitted. It was a mask, nothing more. Camila stubbed out the cigarette. Masks are your specialty. But love? That's bare faces, Avery. We had that once. The kiss that followed was tentative, a question on lips weathered by time, salt and smoke and something unbreakable. They pulled back, foreheads touching, the rain a curtain around their fragile bridge. Dawn brought uneasy alliance. The triplets demanded a family hike to the cliffs above Nerja. To see if you can keep up, rich girl. Avery agreed, lacing up borrowed boots, her designer jeans absurd against the scrub. The path wound through cork oaks and wild thyme. The sea below a turquoise promise. Sophia led, peppering Avery with questions about American queer icons, Ellen of course, but also the unsung activists Avery had quietly funded. Luna shared her poems, verses of longing that echoed Camila's paintings. Mateo fixed a loose rock on the trail, his hand steady as Avery's had never been. At the overlook where the Sierra de Almajara met the Mediterranean, they picnicked on jamon and manchego, the wind whipping skirts and secrets. Camila watched Avery with the kids, a softness creeping in despite herself. But cracks showed. Sophia's phone buzzed with a news alert. Whitaker Industries sued over ethical lapses in data mining. Whispers of Harlan's old skeletons rattling. Avery's face paled. It's nothing. Corporate noise. But Camila saw the lie, the way Avery's fingers clenched like claws. Back at the casita, tension simmered. Elena called, her voice tinny through the speaker. Camila? The show's in 2 weeks. Bring the family. It's your moment. Camila glanced at Avery, who busied herself with dishes. We'll see. Things are complicated. Hanging up, she found Avery on the patio again, staring at the horizon. You're leaving soon, aren't you? Back to your wars. Avery turned eyes stormy. I want to stay. Help with the exhibit, meet Elena properly. Be here. Camila searched her face, seeing the girl who'd once danced barefoot in the Finca's fountain. Prove it. No hits, no escapes. Stay for the ugly parts. Avery nodded, but her phone vibrated. A board emergency, Harlan's ghost in pixels. Return or lose the merger. She silenced it, but the seed of doubt took root. That evening, over tapas in the village square, the family gelled uneasily. Laughter at Mateo's jokes, Sophia challenging Avery to arm wrestle. She lost, gloriously. Luna read a poem about ghosts returning with salt on their skin. And for a heartbeat it felt like home. But as fireworks lit the fiesta sky, San Juan's Eve approaching, Avery slipped away to take the call. Handle it, she barked into the phone. I'm in Spain. Family first. The lie tasted sweet, until she saw Camila watching from the shadows, eyes narrowed. The next days blurred into a rhythm. Mornings hiking, afternoons in Camila's studio where Avery, all thumbs, tried her hand at clay. The triplets warmed, Sophia admitting grudging respect for Avery's shelter work, Luna gifting her a sketch of the cliffs. Mateo asked about robotics grants and Avery promised connections, no strings. Nights she and Camila rebuilt bridges with whispers and touches, hands brushing over wine glasses, a shared blanket under the stars. Elena visited once, a poised woman in her 40s with a Barcelona lilt, appraising Avery with cool curiosity. Camila speaks of you like a storm, beautiful but destructive. Avery flushed. I'm trying to be the calm after. Yet betrayal brewed across the ocean. Avery's assistant, loyal to Harlan's memory, leaked the Malaga visit to a tabloid. Tech Titan's secret Spanish love child scandal. By morning, headlines screamed, triplets donor drama. Lavender Empire heirs hidden family. Investors panicked, stocks dipped. Camila saw it first on her tablet over coffee. You're proof, she said, voice ice. Avery's world tilted. I didn't, it's sabotage. From the old guard. Sophia stormed in, tears hot. You brought the vultures here. We were fine without your drama. Luna retreated to her room, Mateo staring like Avery was a puzzle with missing pieces. Camila faced her, the kitchen a battlefield. Go fix it. But if you leave now, Avery, it's forever. Avery's jet waited at the airport. A siren call. She boarded, promising just a week. But the plane climbed, and Spain shrank below like a discarded canvas. New York hit Avery like a freight train. Horns blaring, skyscrapers clawing the sky. The penthouse a sterile fortress of marble and screens. She dove into damage control. Press releases spinning, philanthropic retreat. Lawyers burying the leaks under NDAs thick as fog. Board meetings were gladiatorial. Suits and Hermes ties demanding explanations, one sneering, family? In Spain? With her. Harlan would roll in his grave. Avery fired back, voice steel. Harlan built this on lies. I'm ending them. She clawed back control, announcing a queer rights initiative funded by her personal shares, but it felt like triage on a hemorrhage. Nights were worse. Alone in the king bed, she'd scroll Camila's Instagram. Stolen glimpses of the casita, the triplet smiles, Elena's arm around Camila at a market. Jealousy gnawed, not for possession but for the life she'd seeded. Letters poured in now from the triplets. Sophia's furious scrawl, you lied again, hope the merger was worth it. Luna's poem of fractured horizons, Mateo's blueprint for a solar-powered art kiln, annotated with build this with us? Camila's were sparse. Exhibit opens soon. Kids missed the idea of you. Each word a hook in Avery's chest. 6 weeks stretched to 2 months. Avery justified it. Depositions, investor schmoozes, a congressional hearing on tech ethics where she testified for marginalized voices, channeling Camila's fire. But doubt festered. A package arrived. One of Camila's paintings from the Echoes series. An empty doorway framed by sea glass waves, titled The Return That Never Came. Tucked inside a note. Sold it for their college funds. Keep the wall space empty. Avery hung it in the loft, a ghost staring back. Then the call that shattered the facade. Sophia, voice breaking. Mom's sick. The doctor says stress, it's the exhibit pressure, but we know it's you. Come or don't, but decide. Avery's flight was airborne before the gate closed, the city lights mocking her delay. Malaga welcomed her with Sirocco winds, hot and unforgiving. The casita felt smaller, the air thick with unspoken accusations. Camila lay on the couch, pale under a Afghan, Elena hovering with herbal tea. You look like hell, Camila said, managing a wry smile. Avery knelt, taking her hand, cool artist's fingers smudged with charcoal. I am hell. Let me make it right. The diagnosis was exhaustion compounded by a minor heart arrhythmia. Nothing fatal, but a wake-up siren. Camila waved off pity. It's the weight of carrying everyone. Always has been. Elena departed gracefully, kissing Camila's cheek. Call if you need anchors. No drama, just quiet yielding. Avery saw the depth there. A partnership born of shared scars. Gratitude warred with envy. She'd never been that steady. Reentry was jagged. The triplets circled warily. Sophia slamming doors, Luna writing feverishly, Mateo tinkering in silence. Avery moved into the guest room, cooking breakfasts of huevos rotos that charred the edges, her silicone hands clumsy with pans. She attended Camila's checkups, holding her during the monotonous waits in fluorescent clinics. Evenings they walked the beach, bare feet in foam, the triplets trailing like reluctant moons. Avery shared boardroom war stories, sanitized for young ears, earning Sophia's snort. Sounds like a bad telenovela. But cracks softened. Luna asked for San Francisco sketches. Mateo demoed his robot over dinner, its words filling awkward pauses. Camila's exhibit loomed, Tides of Truth at a Malaga gallery, blending her old works with new. Portraits of the triplets as sea deities, one of Avery as a storm-tossed ship, sails torn but defiant. Avery helped hang them, climbing ladders with canvases heavier than regrets. Opening night buzzed critics from Madrid, expats in linen suits, the air humming with jazz and jasmine. Camila in emerald silk shone despite fatigue, Elena at her side as co-curator. Avery mingled, deflecting questions about the scandal with quips. Spain taught me family trumps firewalls. A collector bid high on the Avery portrait. She countered anonymously, securing it for the casita. But climax brewed in shadows. Harlan's will surfaced in full, leaked by the same saboteur. A codicil demanding Avery marry suitably, within a year or forfeit half the empire to conservative cousins. Tabloids reignited. Heiress's Spanish sham, triplets or trap? Protesters picketed Whitaker HQ. Queer activists praising her testimony, now questioning her convenience family. Avery's phone exploded. She smashed it against the casita wall, shards glittering like broken promises. Confrontation erupted at midnight, rain lashing the windows. Camila found her on the patio, soaked and sobbing. It's over. The money, the power, poison. I choose you. Us. Camila pulled her inside, towel rough on trembling skin. Then let it go. Burn it. They made love, not frantic but deliberate, bodies mapping old territories with new tenderness, whispers of forgiveness in the dark. Dawn brought resolve. Avery would contest the will publicly, expose Harlan's bigotry, redirect shares to her initiatives. The triplets overheard, bursting in with dawn light. Sophia. You're staying? For real. Luna. No more ghosts. Mateo. We build the kiln together. Avery nodded, throat tight. I'm home. Yet betrayal's knife twisted deeper. Elena, over coffee days later, pulled Camila aside. She's a hurricane, mi amor. You'll drown again. Camila wavered, old wounds aching. Avery overheard, the words a gut punch. Trust so newly mended frayed. She confronted Elena civilly. I know I hurt her. But I'm not leaving. Earning a nod. Prove it beyond pictures. Public storm hit. Cousins sued, media circus descended on Malaga. Avery testified via video from the casita, voice steady. My family is here, 2 mothers, 3 incredible kids. Harlan's hate ends with me. Shares plummeted but donations surged, queer orgs, artist funds. Victory tasted bittersweet. The empire halved but lighter. Camila's health rallied, colors returning. They celebrated with a cliffside picnic, the sea a vast witness. But Elena's words lingered, a seed of doubt. One night, Avery found Camila's journal, pages of pros/cons, Avery passion chaos. Elena. Peace presence. Heart sinking, she closed it. Betrayals echo her own snooping, invading. I trust you, she told Camila that night, lying. The lie bloomed. Summer deepened, the Costa del Sol a furnace of light and longing. Avery threw herself into Andalusian life. Volunteering at the village school, teaching coding to kids with salvaged laptops, her tech wizardry bridging worlds. The triplets thrived. Sophia scouted for a Madrid team, Luna's poems published in a local zine, Mateo's kiln firing Camila's ceramics under starlit skies. Elena faded to friend, her Barcelona gallery calling her home, but not before a farewell dinner where she clasped Avery's hand. Guard her heart. It's rarer than your fortunes. Avery nodded, meaning it, the weight of redemption heavy as the Sierras. Yet the journal nod. Avery buried it under busyness, driving the kids to practices, sourcing glazes for Camila's wheels. Their romance rekindled in stolen moments. A dance at the feria, Avery's 2 left feet earning laughter. Picnics where fingers laced like vines. Camila painted again, vibrant abstracts of intertwined storms, whispering. This is us, wild but whole. Avery believed it, almost. Betrayal struck subtly, a whisper in the wind. During a supply run to Rhonda, Avery's new phone, replaced reluctantly, buzzed with an encrypted email from her ex-assistant turned whistleblower. Harlan had dirt on Camila, old cut as rumors, fabricated debts to force your return. I buried it then. Destroy now. Attached. Forged documents painting Camila as opportunistic, ties to shady family business from Franco days. Lies, echoes of Harlan's playbook. Avery deleted it, but poison seeped. Doubts about Camila's quick comfort with Elena, the journal's balance sheet. She tested waters, casual probes over wine. Remember that smuggling story? Your abuela's tales. Camila's eyes shadowed. Legends. Amor. Survival in dark times. Why? Avery shrugged it off, but the seed sprouted thorns. Nights she'd wake sweating, dreams of boardrooms morphing to courtrooms, Camila on trial for ghosts. Climax crested on All Saints' Eve, the village alive with marigolds and lanterns. The family attended mass in the ancient church, candles flickering like hesitant truths. Afterward, at the casita feast, caldo de pescado steaming, tales of the dead, Avery confronted the email specter. Alone with Camila in the kitchen, she blurted. Harlan had files on you. Debts, connections. Said you trapped me. Camila froze, ladle mid-stir, face draining. And you believe him? After everything. Hurt bloomed raw, her voice a whip. I deleted it. But the journal. Elena. I saw you weighing us. Camila's laugh shattered, bitter as bile. You spied? Like your father's spies. She hurled the ladle, broth splattering like tears. I wrote that before you came back, fears not facts. Elena was safe harbor when you were the abyss. But you? You bring vipers to our door. The triplets burst in at the crash, Sophia shielding Luna, Mateo wide-eyed. What's happening? Avery stammered apologies, but Camila's walls rose fortress high. Get out. Take your doubts to New York. Avery fled to the cliffs, the sea a black maw below, wind howling accusations. She called her lawyer. Leak the files. Show Harlan's rot. By morning, headlines flipped. Whitaker exposes patriarch's bigotry. Forged scandals target ex-lover. The cousin's suit crumbled, public opinion swung. Activists hailed her as ally, not hypocrite. But victory rang empty. Returning to the casita, she found it barricaded, Camila's note. Heal yourself first. We're mending without fractures. Exile stung deeper than boardroom coups. Avery rented a Malaga apartment, a stark loft overlooking the Alcazaba, its Moorish arches mocking her isolation. She funneled remnants of fortune into local causes, arts grants for single parents, tech scholarships for queer youth. The triplets visited sporadically. Sophia for fierce talks on resilience, Luna for poetry slams where Avery read Camila's words, with permission, begged. Mateo brought prototypes, their tinkering sessions silent therapy. Mom says you're growing, he offered once. Like the kiln's slow fire. Camila's silence was eloquent, a canvas left blank. Avery attended her next show from afar, slipping in as a shadow, watching admirers circle reclamation. A triptych of the triplets emerging from waves, strong and separate. Elena was there, supportive arm on Camila's waist. No more, just solidarity. Avery left a rose and an apology note. I was the forgery. Let me be truth. Months ground on, autumn painting the hills gold. Avery's empire stabilized, leaner but ethical partnerships with Spanish renewables, board diverse as the Med. Personal life? A void filled with journals of her own. Entries on loss, on loving from afar. One night, a storm like their first raged, lightning fracturing the sky. Avery drove to the casita, soaked to arrival. Camila answered, robe clutched, eyes weary but open. What now, Stormbringer? Avery poured it out. No defenses, just raw. The fear of inadequacy, Harlan's shadow puppeteering her doubts. I betrayed us by doubting you. Forgive me, or let me go forever. Camila studied her. Rain dripping from eaves like tears. Betrayal's a tide, it ebbs. But trust? That's the shore we rebuild. She stepped aside, offering tea, not absolution. They talked till dawn, dissecting wounds like surgeons. Camila admitting her own fears of dependency, the journal a map of self-preservation. The triplets sensed the thaw gathering for Mateo's birthday. A beach bonfire, guitars, and ghost stories. Avery gifted him a drone kit, Sophia a soccer signed by her idols, strings pulled ethically, Luna a leather-bound journal. Camila watched, her hand finding Avery's in the sand. No grand gestures, just presence, the humanistic pulse of flawed hearts sinking. Yet conflict lingered, a undercurrent. Cousins countersued, dragging family into depositions. Sophia testified fierce. "They're my moms." End of story. The courtroom in Madrid became theater. Lawyers slinging mud, media flashing. Avery shielded Camila, hiring guards for the casita, but stress etched lines deeper. One night, post-hearing, Camila collapsed in Avery's arms, arrhythmia flaring. Hospital lights harsh, doctors murmuring. Rest. Love. No more battles. Avery vowed then, selling the last Whitaker shares, buying a vineyard co-op with Camila's artist collective. "Our empire," she said. Camila smiled, weak but real. "Ours." Winter softened the coast, olive harvests under gray skies, a ritual of renewal. Avery and Camila navigated courtship anew. Dates in hidden coves, arguments over gallery budgets that ended in laughter. The triplets rolled eyes at the teen romance vibes, but bloomed under dual suns. Sophia to Madrid Uni on scholarship, Luna interning at Barcelona ateliers, Mateo prototyping eco-gadgets with Avery's guidance. Elena became auntie, her visits laced with wry wisdom. Storms make rainbows but don't flood the garden. Healing wasn't linear. Avery's doubts resurfaced in quiet hours, therapy sessions insisted by Camila, unearthing Harlan's indoctrination. "Love is transaction." She journaled furiously, sharing pages like offerings. Camila reciprocated, painting diptychs of their scars, jagged lines mending into holes. Publicly, Avery's pivot inspired TEDx talks on queer legacies beyond blood. Whitaker Foundation rebranded Tides of Equity, funding global artist moms. Betrayal's final echo came spring, Cousins' appeal crumbling under evidence of forgeries. Avery's leak a masterstroke, turning venom to vindication. Last deposition, Camila testified, voice steady. "We built a family from fragments. That's our secret. Love's the reveal." The judge ruled in hours. Full inheritance to Avery with stipends for the kids. No triumph parade, just a family dinner, toasting with homemade vino. To truths that set us free. Climax resolved not in courts but hearts. All Saints rematch. The feast reborn, no ladles hurled. Under lanterns Avery proposed, not rings but vows etched on canvas. "I choose the chaos with you." Camila, tears silver, replied with a brushstroke on Avery's palm. A heart waves cradling. The triplets cheered, Sophia quipping. Finally, no more awkward silences. Years folded forward, humanistic in their ordinary grace. The casita expanded. A studio wing for Camila's collectives, tech nook for Mateo's innovations. Avery authored a memoir, Shadows on the Straight, proceeds to queer families in exile. Sophia married a fellow athlete, Luna published a chapbook, Mateo patented a wave energy harvester. Grandkids came, curly-haired whirlwinds echoing the triplets, raised on bilingual tales of storms and shores. Avery and Camila aged into silver queens, walked slower but hands surer. On their 20th reunion anniversary, they returned to the Nerja cliffs, sunset gilding the sea. "We almost lost this," Avery murmured. Camila leaned in, breath mingling. "But we found it again. That's the romance, not perfection but persistence." They kissed, salt wind benediction, the horizon endless as forgiveness. In the end, secrets revealed weren't weapons but keys, unlocking a legacy of love over legacy of gold. Spain held them, America a distant echo, their story a quiet testament. In drama's wake, emotion endures, romance rebuilds, and humanity whispers, "Stay."